Ta-da! That it's weird with the thing upside down.
Huh?
It looks weird with the thing upside down. Okay.
Yeah. But hold something up to it, you can actually see it correctly.
Anyway, agents, operatives, guests. Oh, look, I got something for you, actually. Let's check it out.
See?
So, Thekus turned this camera upside down and did some kind of weird magic tricks. And apparently now you can read all of the things that I put up here.
Pamplemousse.
This is Pamplemousse. It's a LaCroix water that Thekus loves. So we're going to give her that. Yeah, she did all kinds of stuff. She changed the lighting here so we don't get as much glare off the stove. Yeah. She did all kinds of stuff today. But she's got a super important job interview tomorrow. And she's got to open the store where she works. But she won't go to bed. She insists on helping with the stream. Welcome to Ball. Welcome, Dr. Indiana Jones. Look at all of those stars. Look at all of those operatives. Tonight I'm doing fried chicken, man. And I'm not just going to do it, cut up pieces of chicken and put it in some flour and fry it and call it a day. No. We're doing this from scratch. We're even going to break the chicken down. See, I got this whole fryer chicken right here. We're going to break them down. Show you guys how to cut up a chicken super fast, super easy. Oh, it's on your phone.
Yeah. I don't even know where the dang speaker went to.
There's our chicken. Now, assuming that you guys have a moderately well-stocked pantry, this meal, by moderately well, I mean like flour, cornstarch, seasonings, things like that. This meal is actually going to cost you not a whole hell of a lot. I bought 2 energy drinks and another drink, and it still only came out to $11.14 or 17 cents. So this is cheap. It's cheap stuff, man. Yeah, I'm going to make you the chicken dinner tonight. The guys are always chasing after that chicken dinner. I'm going to show you how to get it 100% every time. You'll notice tonight that our oven has been converted. If you look down there in the corner, you'll notice that our oven has been converted to a fryer station. Yes. Well, that's heating up right now. And I'm probably going to put a little bit more oil in that. It's looking a little low.
It's probably because I spilled something.
So, my oil, the oil that I use, is a mixture of peanut oil and soy oil. It's the preferred method of the southern fried chicken connoisseur. So I'm going to add that, not too much in there. So yeah, these are shallow basin fryers, right? If I put it too much in there, it's just going to bubble over. And I might have even pushed it a little too far on that one. So we're going to have to watch when we put it in exactly how it turns out. Because I don't want to throw a bunch of chicken in there and then have it boil over. Cause a huge mess. Rock and roll. Alright, we'll put the cover back on for now. That's going to help it heat up faster. This Tefal unit, this deep fryer unit that I have, I love it. It's a great little contraption to have. You can do French fries, you can do anything in this. The fryer basket's the biggest one I've seen for this size, and it's got a foldable, collapsible handle on the basket. This whole thing, I mean, it comes apart completely. You can clean this thing super well. How long have I been cooking? Make bad choices. First of all, welcome to the chat. Second of all, I have been cooking for going on 17 years now. Professionally, anyway. I started out as a young man in the dish pit, washing dishes for a living, and doing prep on the side, and I've held pretty much every job in between. All the way from dishwasher to executive chef. I've been there. So yeah. Dr. Indiana Jones! Thanks for the host, buddy. Everybody who watches Dr. Indiana Jones will now be watching Operative 9. I Paint Creatures is streaming, man. I know where we're going after this.
To bed.
Well, you're going to bed. You should be in bed right now, young lady. Alright, so let's get started. Let's cut down this chicken. I'm going to be using, for this experience, one 8-inch flexible boning knife. This is a Global. It's a good brand. I like this particular knife because it doesn't have any kind of rubber or anything like that on it. It's really easily cleaned. And it gets pretty messy when you're breaking down meat. So anything that's easy to clean is a plus. And this one's seen some battles. It's been sharpened many, many times. Just going to remove the plastic. Go over to the cutting board. Alright, so I'm just removing the plastic from our chicken here. Just like so. Now, we've got all the usual parts, bits and bobs. You've got your wings. You've got your breast. And you've got your legs and your thighs. You've also got all the little pieces of gross in here that you're going to want to get out. Well, actually, we don't really need to do it, but because we're not going to be cooking the whole bird. Look, this bird has 2 necks.
You gotta push it down.
This chicken has 2 necks. They're just throwing whatever parts into these chickens now.
Maybe he actually had 2 heads.
It's a 2-headed chicken. Did you see this? 2 necks. Alright, this can all go in the garbage, or it can go in your stock pot, or you can actually fry those up and eat them too. A lot of people do that.
What are these?
Oh yeah, they're new emotes. There's some Tekken ones. There's a panda on there. I was noticing that earlier. Okay. But back to the task at hand. So, I like to make 2 little incisions right here in between the breast and the leg. And basically all I'm doing is just opening the skin. And you can see the skin runs all the way down from the top here all the way down to the bottom. And that's actually our first joint right down in here. And I'll show you how to deal with that later, but I'm going to make another incision on the skin right here. Now the thing is, we want to keep our skin intact because everybody knows that the best part of fried chicken is the skin. So we want to keep that as intact as possible. And that's kind of difficult when you're cutting up a breast. But so you can actually cut all the way down and get the bones if you want. Like most of the time when you get fried chicken, you get the bones. Special Pokemon thing going on too. I see. Nice. So yeah, so most of the time when people fry chicken, they fry it bones and all. And you can actually just cut right through this thing and just saw right through it and get the bones. But for us, we're actually going to take out a good portion of the bones, and this actually helps us in a couple of different ways. It makes the cook time a lot faster, so we don't have to worry so much about it being raw if we get a big piece of chicken. And this camera has moved since I last streamed. This camera has moved a bit. Let's see if we can move it just right. Let's see here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to get the perfect angle on this guy. Anyway, next I'm going to make an incision along the keel bone. And the keel bone is the bone that sits in between the two breasts. And I want to make sure not to disturb the skin. It's going to come apart anyway, but I want to make sure to try and keep it as intact as possible. So then, as I come into here, well, this one's still a little frozen. Let me see if I can work that keel bone out. There it is, right there. So the keel bone's not actually too big. It's kind of hard to gauge with your very first cut. But it's exposed right there now. You can actually move your hands in there, and you can see that we got clean bone inside of there. So this thing actually runs all the way down and into the rib cage. Now the thing about the rib cage is if I were keeping it on, I would literally just break right through the keel bone right here with a big cleaver, and I would keep my bones intact for like a traditional fry. But we're actually gonna slice those out. So I'm gonna run this flexible boning knife, and it's called a flexible boning knife because, well, it's super flexible. So actually, when I'm cutting, I can actually push against the chicken and get the maximum amount of the meat off of the bones. So I'm making sure to run along that rib cage and all the way down and out. And on the other side here, I'm running against the wishbone. And then there's another bone here that's kind of a pain. But so as you can see, that's basically the first breast. And that's a big one. Now the breast, the way I just cut it off, it's not going to interfere with the wing, which is right here. But they are sort of connected. As you can see, that's the bone. Cookie Pikachu's! Celebrating the expansion of Twitch Prime into Japan. Huh. I had no idea. But the ball is always on the ball with knowing what's up. I'm going to roll this guy over, and I'm going to put the wing straight out like this. And I'm doing that because right here is going to be a joint. And I'm going to keep pushing until that joint pops and reveals itself. And then I'm just going to cut along that and get my wing. So here's our full chicken wing. So when you get wings in the store, like, fried chicken wings, it's actually the 1 and 2 joint, they're called. This is the 1 joint, this is the 2 joint, and this is the 3 joint. It's one you almost never see. But if you cut down here, you can see there's the other joint. You'll have the 1 and 2 joint for like fried chicken. But we're going to keep this intact so that we can fry the whole thing up as fried chicken. So I'm going to roll back to the breast side. Look, a heart. Chicken heart. So I'm going to roll back to the other side, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing I did the first time to get the breast off. Just roll it down along the rib cage. And I'm sorry for any kind of weird shadows here, but it's kind of difficult to get it into a chicken carcass. Okay. So we're just running along there. And that watery noise you'll hear is my damn dog drinking. Kiba!
He told you.
That's our corgi Kiba.
I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
Kiba likes to hang out while we're cooking. I don't know why. Okay, so you can see that the bone is still attached to the breast. I'm just going to go ahead and cut that away from the joint. Okay, so now we have the second breast off. And that marks we are a little bit over halfway done with taking out this chicken. So the grim work is almost over. Now you can see I'm pulling the wing away from the weight of the carcass, and that helps to expose this joint better. So it's easier for me in the long run to cut through because I can see where the joint is popping out. And I'm just going to run my knife right through that joint and set that aside with the other wing. Now, I'm popping this guy over right now, and we're going to get these guys in 2 shots. So, we're going to want to take the thigh off, and then also the ball. So, what are you animals doing?
The cat's playing around behind the curtains.
Oh, I see.
She's going crazy. It's her time to be up.
All right, so the animals are distracting me. I am sorry. They're making all kinds of noise. Anyway, I'm going to continue to cut down here. And what I'm going to do now, it's kind of a grim thing to do, but I'm actually going to pop this joint. And you can see it pop right out. And then I'm going to cut along where I know that joint just popped out. And right down the bottom. Okay, so now we have the hind quarter. Skin still thick and intact. Joint popped out. Now we know that there's obviously one more joint here. And the easiest way that I've found to find it is to literally just go straight down from right here. And you'll run your knife in there. And then we'll pop it again. There. So, the joint exposes itself right there. One swift movement down and through everything. And, well, it's supposed to be one swift movement anyway, but this chicken skin is fighting me. So there we go. Now you have the thigh. Now there's only one bone inside of the thigh. So if you actually wanted to take that bone out, we could totally do that by just running the knife along the blade right here. And actually what I do to fry chicken quicker is I'll actually expose that bone just the slightest bit. Now this is a bit of cartilage right here, so I'm going to take that off. Nobody likes to bite into a piece of cartilage. Well, some people do. Some people make dishes out of it. And we got this piece and that piece. So we only got one more piece left that's usable for us right now, and we're just going to pop that joint like we did last time. There it is right there. And then we're going to run the knife down through that joint. To a hind quarter. Now, our carcass we can use for all different kinds of things. Like, as you can see right here, I actually left quite a bit of meat on there. Not my best work. But we can use this for all kinds of things, like stocks and soups and things like that.
Stock.
Stock.
I love a good
Chest! Thekus. Always calling out the chests.
I actually just won 1,400 on a little scratcher thing.
What?
Yeah.
I never win any on those. I just lose all of it. All right. So, got our joint there. All the way through. Chicken skins. Then we'll expose the bone. And the dirty work is done. Here we have all of our chicken pieces. 2 thighs, bone exposed, 2 drums, 2 wings, and 2 massive breasts. There it is. What's up, Mad? We're doing fried chicken tonight, my friend. And we just showed everybody how to break down their own chickens. So, now you can save money at the store. Because funny enough, cut up chickens are more expensive than not cut up chickens. I bought this chicken for about $6. If I would have actually got it all broken down, it would have been a lot more. So, Op9 teaching you guys how to save a little bit of money. All right, down's the first energy drink. Okay, now I need a big bowl because it's time for us to marinate. There are several different schools on marinating fried chicken. The first one, the old school one, is buttermilk. The old Southern ladies will tell you that the best way to marinate is with buttermilk. And I sort of agree. For flavor and texture of the crust itself, it's the best way. But we also know from cooking birds, like Thanksgiving birds and things like that, that brining is another huge way to make sure that your chicken stays completely juicy. So I developed a way to get the best of both worlds. We're going to brine this thing, but we're going to brine it in buttermilk, which means we're going to actually change our buttermilk into a brine. Now, brines consist of liquid, preferably water. This time we're going to be using buttermilk. They consist of salt, and they consist of sugar and different kinds of spices. Bay leaves, rosemary, whatever you got. So I'm going to combine the two. We're going to start. Let's see, where's a good place to do this? I guess we'll go back to the cutting board. Move our chicken for a bit. We're going to shake up the buttermilk. We got this little buttermilk guy here. Dear go buttermilk. We're going to shake the buttermilk up good. Pour in a good amount of the buttermilk. It's got to be enough to coat all of our chicken. And we got a lot of chicken. I'm kind of concerned about the size of that bowl, but we'll figure it out. Next, I'm going to add salt. This time, I think I'm actually going to add adobo. Adobo is that stuff that we were using a lot in our last episode for enchiladas and whatnot. And if you didn't catch it, adobo is literally just kind of like Johnny's seasoning salt or what's the other one? Johnny's or Lowry's. Sort of like that, but the ingredients are slightly different. It's not quite as salty as the other ones. And it's basically salt, granulated garlic, black pepper, turmeric, oregano, things like that. all things that we want in here, so we're definitely going to use it in our buttermilk mixture. And I'm going to make it copious because I want the flavor to penetrate the chicken before I actually start cooking it. Then I'm going to add a tiny little bit of brown sugar. This will kind of offset the flavor. Actually, you know what? Let's do honey. I think I still have some honey. Honey doesn't last long in this house because I use it for a lot of things. And we usually don't have it. But if I remember right, we should still have a little bit.
Honey?
Honey, yeah.
Other cabinet. Other side.
Honey, honey. There it is.
I know where
100% organic honey. U.S. grade A product of Brazil.
100%. Yeah.
U.S. grade A product of Brazil. Okay. Pretty good dab of honey in there. So, we've added probably a tablespoon and a half of our seasoning salt and probably about a quarter a cup of the honey. Next we're going to add a tiny bit of paprika. A dash, I would say quarter, well, that's about half a teaspoon right there. And let's add some aromatics if we can. Let's see. What do we have interesting? Let's hit a little bit of... Let's actually do some sage. Sage sounds good. And sage goes well with poultry. So we're going to do a little bit of sage.
You have some fresh seasonings down there.
Oh, fresh herbs?
Yeah. If you wanted to use those. I think you might actually even have a little fresh... Well, we might have used the sage up.
Yeah, we used most of it up. I think we got some rosemary.
We have rosemary and I believe some thyme down there.
Okay. Now I'm going to whip this up. Get it all incorporated. Make sure that honey that is sunk to the bottom is well incorporated into the rest of the mix. That's mixed up just fine. Now we're going to introduce our chicken, which is probably going to fill this bowl to the brim. There's that first big breast, the second one. Put the wings in on the side here.
Would you say that you're a breast man?
Ha! One thing I know for sure, I like them thick.
Thick.
All right. Now that all the punny jokes are out of the way, all right, I want to make sure that my chicken is submerged in here. And we're going to let that sit for about 20 minutes. Ideally, we would be letting this sit overnight. That way the buttermilk penetrates the meat completely. But of course we don't have all night. We don't have 24 hours. And I didn't even know I was going to be doing fried chicken until I thought it up a couple hours ago. So we're going to put it in the refrigerator because the cold's actually going to help it in this situation.
Why? Why does the cold help it?
That's a good question.
It's just something you've always known?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... the cold always helps. I don't know. That's a good question. We'll have to figure that out on a scientific level later. But for right now... Alright, I'm going to sanitize my cutting board, as you should do when you're doing any kind of chicken stuff. Because as we know, raw chicken is a good gateway to a nasty thing called salmonella, which is not from salmon. But yeah, I've had salmonella before, and let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want it. I would rather die than get salmonella again. So, I'm going to wash this cutting board very, very well. Even though I don't think we'll be using it again tonight. Now, ideally what I wanted to do was show you guys a couple of different techniques with a couple of different ingredients. Unfortunately, my local supermarket, late night supermarket, didn't really have the things I was looking for. So, I was actually looking for potato starch, and I couldn't find it. And potato starch is an ingredient that is used in Korean fried chicken, which I don't know if you've ever had. Salmonella. The most underwater rapper this side of the Mississippi.
Now I'm curious.
But yeah, so I couldn't find potato starch, and anybody who's had Korean fried chicken knows that it is superior in every way to every other kind of fried chicken. It's pretty damn delicious. And they actually have a spicy sauce that they use on it too that's really good. But we couldn't find one of the main ingredients to do it, so we'll have to save that for next time. And I might do an entire Korean food episode because Korean food is probably my favorite ever. It's just colorful and spicy and fresh and fermented. It's got like all kinds of things going on. The Koreans know how to throw down.
I wish we could just stream eating Korean barbecue.
We could. Why not?
IRL, man. Come watch us.
Real IRL, yeah. People do that all the time. I think I've actually seen people
eating
Korean barbecue on IRL.
I'm sure. And
they do everything else. I'm pretty sure titties were involved.
we can find some titties to put in there.
We'll bring Glenn along. All right. We need to get our flour.
You're never gonna live that quote down.
Nope, I don't need to. I stand by that. No, really. You know, I say that kind of in jest. I mean,
kind of in jest.
Like, it's a touchy subject. It's a really touchy subject because I know a lot of female streamers who put in a ton of work. And they're constantly trying to update their stuff. They're, doing their own art. They're doing all this difficult shit to do. And then people come in and they're like, well, you only get viewers because, you're a girl or you're female. And, that's bullshit. That's 100% bullshit. But there are some girls who literally do nothing but have their titties out. And it's more of a sad reality for the males of the species who are so enthralled by that.
Yeah.
Big Bad Choices is now following. Yay!
Yay!
I love it when somebody follows because I get to watch my dog be ridiculous. We're going to be using unbleached bread flour today. Bread flour is a higher gluten flour, which makes it more crispy when fried or baked. And I'm going to say for that amount of chicken, let's do 2.5 to 3 cups of flour. Dog. Man, he's really on edge today. There's nobody at the door. Or is there somebody at the
He
door?
was texting me.
Ah, great.
Literally
There is
was
somebody at the
texting
door. Who's at the door?
Settle down, radar.
Best time for somebody to come over.
Oh, no, there's nobody at the door right now.
Kiba heard the text and he went for it. You suck. You. Hey, come here, mongrel. Why don't you show everybody who's making all that noise? That's the mongrel who's making all the noise.
Move it over to the side. You got the mic in the screen.
That's true. The ball always puts it into perspective. Because me, I'm a black and white blabbermouth. But DeBall, he's a thinking man.
You know, there's a special kind of for female streamers on Twitch, because it's like, you know, because even when you're trying to do your thing out there, there's guys that just come in there and they're like, how come you don't have your boobs out? Or, you know, whatever. I don't know. We've seen it in a few chats that we've been into with our female friends where guys just come in there and they're just,
Well, you know, guys are garbage, so.
ugh.
We're not all garbage. Some of us have grown past our baser instincts. But for the most part, we're still garbage. The thing that bothers me is that the internet emboldens people. It emboldens people to say whatever the hell it is they want to say because, you know, there's no consequence for you saying some jacked up shit. And that paired with the fact that I just, you know, people are just more sensitive nowadays. We just really are. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with everything you say. Alright. So, we got our 2.5 to 3 cups of flour. To that, I'm going to add about a cup of cornstarch or potato starch. Potato starch is the better thing to use in this situation, but we just don't have it. I am going to add about, that's about a quarter of a cup of salt. I'm going to add some Hot Shot. Hot Shot is a McCormick product. It's red pepper and black pepper mixed together. Slightly more spicy. Much more aromatic. Like it's got a great smell to it. Here, if you can smell it. Don't sneeze. It's got a real pungent smell to it. And, I mean, that's what you want in pepper. A lot of times in the pepper that you get on the shelf, who knows how long that stuff's been sitting there. So I'm going to put about 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of Hot Shot in there. You can use regular black pepper if you want, or a melange if you want. That'll be just fine. I'm going to use a little bit of Creole season or Cajun seasoning. And, gosh, that's probably half a teaspoon maybe. That stuff's pretty pungent. And then we'll check out, what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking at the color. I don't want there to be a pinkish hue. Because if the color of the flour is pink, what's going to happen is when you go to fry it, it's going to get too dark. We don't want it to get too dark because then it'll look burnt even when it's not. Chest.
Chest.
All right. Now I'm going to add Op9's secret ingredient. Sneezing with pepper. Op9's secret ingredient at this point, yellow curry powder. just a dash of yellow curry powder. This is going to add this weird, not weird, but a flavor that you're not used to. And since you're not used to that flavor, you'll eat all the way through this chicken trying to find it. And you'll never figure it out until somebody tells you. So, but you still ate all your chicken, and then you're going to come back and want more. And that's the chef in me talking. I want you to keep coming back and eat my food. Okay. So, shout out to Hopan the Beast. He's in the hospital. He had some fluid around his heart, and but he's good. He's in the hospital. He's getting taken care of. But let's just hope that he pulls through and everything goes fine. Because we don't really want him, you know. He's a good friend of ours. We don't want him to disappear on us. All right. Look, everybody, it's Mexi. Look at that face. You gotta love that guy. Mexi came to visit us while we're making our fried chicken tonight.
Ooh, fried chicken?
Yes, sir.
That sounds tasty.
So, the traditional best way to do this is with a big old paper bag. You take a big old paper bag, you put the flour in, you put the chicken in there, and you just shake it up. Unfortunately for us, we don't have a damn paper bag that I know of. I mean, it's got to be a big old sturdy paper bag, and I don't think we got one of those. But this pan right here will be just fine. I'm still checking. I don't know why. Well, we got tiny paper bags.
What are you looking for?
We need a big old paper bag, like a giant one. You know, I don't think we got one. And it's fine. We don't need one. We can do it this way, and it's gonna work out. I think this thing's coming loose or something, this camera. So, we got to make sure we got all our mise en place together. Actually, I forgot. I got a tiny bit of paprika into our seasoning. A dash, quarter teaspoon, if you want to call it that. It'll be fine. Word. Damn, Mexi. That stuff is stinking up the whole house. I love it.
Yeah.
We're not talking about food, ladies and gentlemen, but we're not talking about drugs. That would be wrong.
Going to the stove?
Yeah, we're going to be transitioning to the stove here pretty quick. I don't have anything else on. I couldn't find my waffle maker. And it's probably deep in there somewhere. But we could make chicken and waffles as well. And in the stead of chicken and waffles, I'll actually make a nice sauce. It's a pimenton. It's a Spanish sauce that will kind of act as like maple syrup. Now, the thing about chicken and waffles, a lot of people don't understand what's so great about chicken and waffles because, well, honestly, they never had it. Or if they did, they didn't have it right. But the waffle means nothing. It really means nothing. It's all about the marriage of crispy fried chicken. Crispy, salty, delicious fried chicken. Coated in maple syrup, which is sweet and gooey. And those two things together, the sweet and salty combination, we know that's amazing. And on chicken, it's even better. But we're going to actually use a pimenton sauce instead of our traditional maple syrup. I'll show you how to make that right quick. It's real simple. We get a little dinky plastic bowl. We get our honey. Fair amount. That's probably half a cup or 2/3 of a cup. Then we're going to add paprika. Ideally, you want a smoked paprika. Smoked Spanish paprika is the best for this, but we don't have that. We just have regular paprika. And that's fine. Because we can add paprika. I'm going to add up to a tablespoon of paprika into here. And then I'm going to add, in order to even out and make it a little bit smoky, I'm going to add one drop. One teeny tiny weensy bitsy drop of liquid smoke. And you got to be careful with this stuff because it is powerful. Even that was too much. But should be okay. Not an issue. Hey, buddy, I'm going to head to bed. Well, Dr. Indiana Jones, thank you for dropping in. And, shout out to Dr. Indiana Jones. If you haven't seen him before, head to his stream and check him out. He does lots of different games. He's a hilarious guy. And he's getting over a sickness right now. So his voice is a little off. But, a lot of people don't know this about Dr. Indiana Jones, but Dr. Indiana Jones is a credited voice actor on a video game. Yeah. He does all kinds of cool voices, too.
He does. His stream is a hoot.
His stream is a hoot. That's a good word for it. I'm going to add a little bit of tang to this. I want it to be a tiny bit tangy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You can also add lemon juice or lime juice if you like. There's our Dr. Indiana Jones official emote. The crystal skull with the Indiana Jones hat. I'm going to add just a couple drops of the apple cider vinegar. And then we're going to mix it all up. The liquid from the apple cider vinegar is actually going to make this a little bit easier to pour. And vinegar, as we know, is a natural deterrent of fat. Vinegar actually causes fat to bubble and dissipate. So when it's on your palate, fat completely coats the tongue. And while it tastes good because it's fat, we lose a lot of the subtle hints in our food because it's coated in fat. So what we do is we like to add a little bit of acid, whether it be lemons, limes, vinegars like we just used. We like to add a little bit of that to kind of break the fat away from coating your tongue completely. So you can taste all the little subtle elements, like the tiny bit of curry powder that we put into our batter. And this is going to actually help us out here. So you can see it's still sticky and gooey and perfect for us to drizzle over the top of our chicken when it's done. Now, we're going to be using a 2-phase cooking system. This is going to help the chicken to get completely done. Because a lot of times when we cook chicken that's so large, we have a problem with it not getting cooked in the middle. So we're going to use a 2-phase cooking system, which means we're going to cook it for 8 to 10 minutes. Or actually, let's do it even less, because we took a lot of the bones out. So since we don't have a lot of bones in there, we can break it down to 5 to 8 minutes. So our first cooking is going to be 5 to 8 minutes, and then we're going to rest it for 5, and then we're going to finish it for another 10 minutes. Now, my oil is at 374 degrees, which is high for chicken. But you got to remember, the small area of this fryer, it's going to cause the temperature in the fryer to drop drastically when we add one cold piece of chicken in there. So I got it cranking as high as it'll go so that it can maintain that heat better. If you have an industrial deep fryer, you don't have to worry about things like that. But you can also do this if you don't have a deep fryer in a cast iron pan. Cast iron, it's thick and sturdy and it holds the heat very, very well. Essentially being anonymous assholes. This is a good video. Let's take a look at that.
It's like a 15-minute long video.
Oh, wow. We'll take a look at that when we get the chance. But yeah, cast iron is a perfect conductor or a perfect heat holder. So when you're doing something like fried chicken and you put the cold chicken into the hot oil, the heat isn't going to dissipate as much in cast iron. So I would recommend that if you don't have a deep fryer, which, a lot of people don't. And even if you did have a deep fryer, they're usually like fry daddies, so they're not really like, set up for frying chicken. What's our uptime? One hour and 5 minutes already. Already passed, and we haven't even got anything cooked yet. Wow. It's flying. So, the enzymes inside of the buttermilk actually help to break down the proteins. So it makes them softer. Make bad choices. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the follow, and have a lovely night. All right. I'm going to start out with some of the smaller pieces, and we're just going to put them inside of the mixture. Yeah. We'll do the smallest pieces first. Now, the drums actually take a longer time to cook because you can't really get rid of the bone in there. It's what makes it a drumstick. So I'm going to flip this over. And the buttermilk is actually what's helping it to stick. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it nice and coated in the flour. And then I'm going to press it into the skin. And that's what's going to make those beautiful ridges on your fried chicken. Is really pressing your flour mixture into the chicken. And you want to make sure that everywhere on the chicken, it's not sticky anymore. So when I touch it, it shouldn't stick to my hand at all because of the flour. And I can smell that hint of curry powder in the mixture. And I think it's going to be awesome. So you want to make sure, of course, that your chicken skin is as flat against meat as possible because it is going to shrink up. And any way that we can keep it from shrinking up completely is going to be better because nobody likes their fried chicken skin to be all shrunk into one bit. But you can see I'm putting some pressure on this chicken. I want it to be coated and really stuck in there. And you'll see why. You can see as I pull it already has those striations from the straying away from the meat. And then we got this one last piece here. And we'll start frying the small guys. soon as we get this done. All right. All right, beautiful. And we'll just, basket's already dropped, so we'll just drop it in. Shake off any excess flour. That's going to save you from actually having to clean more up later on at the end of the night. Your fryer oil will last a lot longer if you shake off that dust. Yeah, I was working. I didn't catch any. Look at that. That one's going to be nice.
Oh my.
Now, if you're not a kitchen person and your hands aren't completely calloused and fireproof, you can always start with the basket up and then drop it. I'm a crazy person, so I'm not afraid to get hot oil on my hands. Now, we don't want to crowd our fryer too much, so if it doesn't look like we can fit the pieces in there, we just won't. Like, I'm a little concerned about the wing. PUBG was a nominee for Game of the Year, even though it hasn't even come out yet. Breath of the Wild definitely deserved to win that.
Have you actually played it somewhere?
I've played some of it through nefarious means. But no, I don't have a Switch, so or a Wii U.
Well, that's good to know. It's a good story on it. Because honestly, it's been so long since I played Nintendo games
Because why buy a Nintendo system for 2 games?
Yeah. Essentially that Nintendo has really made me mad recently, so...
With all the retro gaming...
Yeah, how they, like, keep constantly...
Hullabaloo.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
So, like, I kind of don't want to support Nintendo at the moment. It's horrible. I love Nintendo, but I hate them right now at the same time, so...
Alright, so at about 5 minutes, we're going to bring this up, let it rest for 5 more minutes, and then we're going to drop it again for 10. No, they know exactly what they're doing. They're not dumb. They're just dicks. They're like creating... It's the same thing like when a brand new chef opens a restaurant, right? And but they're like some famous guy, and they open a 20-seat restaurant. So they know they're going to get hundreds and hundreds of people wanting to eat their product, but they're only letting 20 people in a night. Because it builds this, like, mystique, you know? Well, yeah.
I mean, but they went, like... This one was, like, really bad for the Nintendo thing. There was, like, people not being announced. Like, there were retailers putting it out incorrectly. There was people who had it, like, in their cart at Walmart. And then it, like, automatically, like, would go out of it because, like, it was weird. Like... I think there's probably maybe a good 500 people in this country that probably got one.
Yeah. They're so worried about copyright infringement, which is hilarious to me because they're the most easily pirated games that I think you can possibly get. I mean, if you're going after anything, you should probably be going after the pirates.
Sometimes I wish they would, like, because because we don't buy the Nintendo because it's not really a value for us because we don't play as much. I wish they would just, like, release some classic games on the PlayStation or on Xbox or something. Like, I know that'll probably never happen because those companies are...
No way.
Yeah, like all hate each other, but...
They don't hate each other. They're just direct competition.
Yeah.
So we're going to let the oil drain off. You can see the chicken's already, it looks like it's done already. But of course it's going to be cold and bloody raw in the middle. So that's partially why we're letting it cool off, because we don't want the outside to get too dark before the inside's done. So we're going to let this cool off for 5 minutes before we finish it. But oh yeah, the Pirate Bay is going to be in trouble. But I mean, if you're still pirating through the Pirate Bay, you're behind.
No kidding. That would be me. No, I'm joking.
The Pirate Bay is already
I'm joking.
Pirate Bay is already watched by so many federal entities.
I thought they took it down.
Oh, they've tried to take it down several times. I'm pretty sure it's actually probably already run by the U.S. government. Because they took it down so many times and you know, they flat out lost that. And suddenly it comes back up all of a sudden. They're probably pinging everybody who goes to that site. I mean, I would. If I was the government and I wanted to find pirates, that's what I'd do.
The only time I've ever had any issue downloading stuff is when I downloaded anything from HBO. HBO is on their shit.
Yeah.
Everyone else, not so much.
We don't pirate anything. No way.
That was like way back in the day, though. Oh my gosh. I was trying to find episodes of The Newsroom or something. Back when that was on.
The Newsroom.
Dude. Yes.
Yeah, we did get in trouble for that. We got a letter for that.
Yeah.
Won't you be pirated in the newsroom? I got my thigh. What I'm going to do, first we'll make sure the skin's in the right spot before we drop it. And I'm actually going to wrap it around a little bit. Kind of drop it like so. Yeah. You know the NSA is watching the ball. Nobody's allowed to be that smart. Kiba, it's not chicken time yet.
You know what? I think I missed Talk Like a Pirate Day this year.
Oh.
That's kind of sad.
Oh.
Oh.
Boy, it's a super quiet night tonight.
Yeah. Well, Thursdays have kind of been a missed night for us.
Well,
In terms of we haven't been streaming.
what do you call it? The Vox Machina or whatever? Geek and Sundry. They're the ones that, like, when they do D&D,
Yeah.
but their campaign is so good that they're the ones that when they go online on Twitch, D&D shoots to like #1 most viewed whenever they stream something. D&D is usually like way down.
That's what the ball said.
Hey, Wiretap, a recipe for pancakes? Yep.
Oh, and there's
sad but true. Sad but true.
Oh, is it the same image?
I know, man. Alexa, come on. I never seen more of a I never seen a more obvious spy device. We'll get one in every home in America.
As if it couldn't already listen to you through your phone.
They can listen to you through all sorts of things.
Exactly. So I ain't even bugging.
I mean, shit, they can listen to me on this stream right now. Hello, NSA. Even the people in the NSA need a good recipe for chicken. I'd be surprised if they weren't watching right now.
I mean, this is the official Operative 9.
It sure is. So I'm just kind of cycling my pieces of chicken through and then leaving them out to rest. Make sure they're all dripped out. I mean, right now, as they stand, they're pretty delicious looking fried chicken. But we know that they're still filled with poison, so. I'm not gonna be. I don't need it. I can Google things myself, you know. I don't need a robot to Google for me.
Well, I just want one when I can actually name it myself. Otherwise, I don't see the point.
You just want an NSA pet?
I want an NSA pet, yes. They come in various colors.
Oh, yeah. This guy right here is right underneath the breast, usually. Sits right here. And that's a chicken tender. We'll make some chicken tenders, too. Watch, I'll pull this breast out so I can show you right where it's at. You see, it's just hanging out right here. And you can literally just pull it right off. And those are the chicken tenders. Which is like the 4th most popular food in the United States. Chicken tenders.
Behind? Okay, I won't say that.
Now these things are so huge, they got me a little worried. I'm a little worried that even our 2-stage cooking method might not get these big boys done. But I got my handy dandy thermo. What are you two chit-chatting about over there? Hello, computer.
No, I was thinking of Star Trek where I think it's like Scotty where he's like, hello. It's like some episode where they're like in current technology and if you try to talk to the computer, he's like, hello, computer. And it like doesn't talk back at all.
Oh, computer. Stop all the downloading.
So Default says Alexa is useful to me as a personal assistant for Google searches. It has 3 main uses for me right now. 1, getting the weather. 2, having an easy user timer alarm clock. And 3, using it with the smart home devices. So when I come home and walk in my room, I can just say, Alexa, turn my lights on.
Ew.
You could just get the personal assistant from Japan, though.
The future!
That one's got a nice, pretty little anime girl to go with it.
I just actually keep a Japanese person in my house at all times. Takahashi! Turn on the light! Oh no, this one we left in a little too long. That one got a little dark. Two-stage doesn't work if you don't get the timing right. So that thigh is going to be a little burnt. Now these big sons are going to have to go in one at a time. Look at the size of that thing. I blame it on television. The ball, did you say you did or didn't work for the NSA? Buy Alexa.
Oh no, we found out the ball's secret.
You want to buy Alexa. I highly recommend that you buy Alexa.
You know, we keep talking about the NSA, but I keep thinking back to one of the shows I watched, The Good Wife, and there's always like these little clips in that show where the NSA is listening to her and her family because they're always in some sort of political crap. But I always think back because it's always like these super nerds. I think you remember like when I was watching it because it would always come up with the screaming goat jokes. So like every time the NSA shows up, they're always joking about the screaming goats. And just a bunch of nerds in cubicles. That's what I think about.
Oh, so your chicken tenders. If you put them in right here, like right now, they're not going to have too much of a coating on them. And the reason why is because it doesn't have the skin to really capture the coating. So if you're doing chicken tenders, I highly recommend you double dip. Highly recommend the double dip. You'll see that'll really get the stuff on there. Because you want to have a pretty nice, crunchy, crispy chicken tender. And the cool thing about chicken tenders, if you're not into making the whole fried chicken and cutting it all down and doing all that stuff, the chicken tenders work way faster. You can actually just buy them flat out in the store if you want. You don't have to cut them yourself or anything. And it's a way faster technique and you can use the same breading. Good gravy, the size of this thing. That's going to be some damn good fried chicken. You getting hungry for fried chicken yet? Nah.
I'll be honest, I'm not super hungry. But I can be.
Uh-huh. Now how would you suddenly get hungry?
I don't know. This is something that people in the medical industry have been suffering through for years. However, are we going to build an appetite?
Let me guess, some super expensive pharmaceutical?
Yes.
That's exactly what she was talking about. We highly endorse herbal supplements in this house. Come here, you big beast. So the reason why you're... Okay, geez. She's mad at us. So the reason why this works, this two-stage thing works, is because the principle that we touched on in earlier episodes called carryover. So proteins, when they're cooked at high temperatures, will actually raise in internal temperature up to 10 degrees after they're taken from the heat. So this two-stage cooking actually works by using that carryover to continue cooking the inside even though we're not cooking the outside. Since we don't have a bone in this thing, aside from the skin, these are just basically giant chicken tenders too. Fried chicken is not the healthiest thing for you. We know this. We know. But it is one of the most enjoyable things you can put in your mouth. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere, but...
Ha!
Ha!
Ha! Is that comedian guy from The Hangover? I just want that, like, the clip on cue. He was just like, ha!
Who? Zach Galifianakis?
No, the Asian guy.
Oh.
The did you
Ken
die guy.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah. But did you die?
Ken Jeong is hilarious. Did you know that Ken Jeong is actually a medical doctor?
Yeah, you told me that. That's pretty funny.
He's an actual doctor.
Which ironically may mean he has more education than Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah. You're like on a crusade against Bill Nye lately.
No, I'm not.
Oh no, wait, that's
Like,
Corey.
I'm like, I love Bill Nye the Science Guy.
That's Corey. Corey's way against him. You're not a real scientist.
I mean, I'm sure, like, you don't have to be, like, we live in the information age, man. You don't have to necessarily have a degree to be smart in something if you know how to apply yourself. Like, that's
like
the way
me.
that I feel about it now, because I learned so many things.
Like me and my natural affinity for quantum mechanics.
Well, I mean, a school will, and a degree will focus your attention.
I don't know anything about quantum mechanics, but I'm pretty sure that Duvall does. Duvall probably has a small degree.
Yeah, he's an engineer of some sort. Of sort of applied, yeah. Technically, I am a scientist, Duvall.
She is a scientist. She's a political scientist.
But it is a Bachelor of Science, sir.
Right. So, now, we're on to the second stage for our smaller pits. We're going to continue to cook them. We'll do some some wings and a drum. See if we can squish them down in there all at the same time. The reason why we don't want to crowd the chicken is because it can prevent the skin from getting crispy all around. Like this guy right here, we're not gonna have to worry about that with that guy. He's pretty damn crispy already.
No, I love Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill!
I still have to finish his new show that he has on Netflix. I never actually finished that.
I did.
You didn't like it?
Oh, I liked it. It felt a little, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now that I'm thinking of for this show. It felt a little overproduced. Like, I think he was trying a little bit too hard to do certain things.
Yeah, I totally get down that feel. Like, they were
the
trying
stuff-
too hard to make it like the old Bill Nye.
Yeah, some of the stuff was a little shoehorned in there.
But I think it was partially because, like, I don't know, for me, I think it was like, those of us that watched Bill Nye the Science Guy before, we wanted, I think, is in a way, an adult Bill Nye the Science Guy. But they made it still PG for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole family could still watch it. Play this video. Let's see. Oh, I've seen this before, actually. Duvall, I love to be motivated.
I love being motivated. He kind of got off. We were actually talking about this earlier. We were talking about Elon Musk and his, like, it's a 98% possibility that we're living in a virtual world. And Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of, like, really went off on that.
We actually used to listen to his, what was that Star
Talk.
Star Talk on when we had Sirius Radio.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's on the internet. You could probably listen to it now still.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, this is unfortunate, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good thing there are only 3 of us here. Because I do believe that this chicken is burnt and undercooked. It sure is.
No.
So, our 2-stage process did not work. Failure. It's not the end of the world. We're going to set our oven to 300 degrees. Why do we set it to 300 degrees and not higher if we want it to cook? Well, that has to do with the Maillard reaction. That has to do with the Maillard reaction. And the Maillard reaction is the caramelization of proteins at a specific temperature. And that specific temperature is 312 degrees. So we're setting our oven to 300 degrees so that the chicken will get cooked in the middle, but the crust will stop cooking. Hey, what's up, Dark? Speaking of dark, my chicken, it's a little dark. We added too much paprika to the mix, and it got a little too dark. But we're going to have a solution, and you guys will get to see me make that solution happen. Yes, the Maillard reaction happened a little bit too quick, and it might be actually because of the fact that my fryer is at 300 degrees, or 374 degrees. I'm pretty sure the wings are done. I'd be willing to bet on that.
Probably 350.
The drums, though, definitely not done. This guy, if he gets too much darker, it's going to be a bad thing. But this dude hasn't been 2-staged yet, but he's perfect. We're going to throw him in there, too.
I think this is the first time we've actually done fried chicken in this fryer.
Yeah, we've never done fried chicken in this house, actually. But you know, you gotta be able to think on your feet.
Yeah. Don't be like me. Don't be like me and rage when something happens with your cooking.
She does rage. She's been known to rage a time or two. So as soon as that thing flips up, and we hear the beep, and we know it's at 300 degrees, we're going to pop the chicken in there, and it's probably going to take, gosh, I would give it 10 to 15 minutes to really do its thing. In the meantime, though, we have these two little tenders, so we can try the breading and whatnot. See how it came out. And yes, that stuff is very hot. I do not recommend to grab things out of the fryer with your fingers. That's true. That is an astute observation. And let me tell you, let me unravel a little mystery about the culinary world. We're just normal people. We don't have any magic powers to make food amazing. We screw up. We do all these things. The thing is, we've got a good base knowledge, and we also have the ability to think on our feet. And you'll hear it sometimes. People will refer to the culinary industry as smoke and mirrors, and it can be. We're trying to make food that anybody can make at home. I mean, you saw it tonight. I bought this stuff for $12. But if I nail this, if I get this perfect, I can sell, a 3-piece for $15. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But, it has a lot to do with marketing too. Art is important. Just art in general. Art altogether is important. I'm going in. I'm going to take the risk. The breading's perfect. Chicken's cooked. That's good. It's a good fried chicken. With this wing, I would definitely, if it were me, I'd put Frank's Red Hot on it. And I'd mow down on it. Now I'm going to be honest with you. Your operative, he don't really like chicken with bones in it. Just a personal preference. I don't really like picking bones clean of flesh. Thekus, on the other hand, Thekus can clean a chicken bone.
That's a Hispanic proficiency. Innate trait. Race ability.
It's your racial
ability.
It's a racial passive ability. The ability to clean chicken bones with your mouth.
I think for that I should gain extra stamina or something, extra hit points. Yeah. I heal up fat a little more extra, a bonus on my healing from food.
Warrior needs food badly. There it is. That's the beat. We're gonna pop our chicken in there. So yeah, 300 degrees is definitely going to be enough.
Since when did eating chicken turn into an RPG? Since
we're on Twitch, baby. And the whole RPG isn't eating chicken, Dark. It's just part of it. I am adding Frank's Red Hot to these chicken tenders. And I'm fixing to eat them. Oh yes. Woo! That's warm. It's warm in temperature. Not really that hot because, Frank's Red Hot isn't really red hot. But you can see here my chicken perfectly cooked. Super tender, super juicy. And I got to tell you, it's so hot it's even making my hands a little uncomfortable. But with that, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to go through our segment.
No.
What does Sika's think?
No.
She's not hungry at all.
No, I just don't want to be on camera.
Oh. Well, they can hear you. Take his bite. She doesn't want to be on camera because she's sleepy, but she'll tell us what she thinks. Now, I know for a fact that Thekus loves some hot wings. Woo! Yeah, totally, Duval. I mean, I think that's my biggest problem with PUBG, actually. It's a strange thing to go back to that, but, my big problem with PUBG is that I just don't feel connected to it. I can't move the program how I want to. It's frustrating. It doesn't feel right. It feels airy. I know fighting against fighting against the computer to make it do what you want is part of the gaming experience, but not my favorite. What do you think?
It's fantastic, by the way. He put some of that hot sauce on there. I love that hot sauce.
Yeah, that Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, I'll give you up instead of staring at the cutting board.
I love tenders because they cook really fast. They stay juicy. You can add sauce to them. And you can eat them while your chicken's cooking. I can't stop eating it.
I know.
I'll give the rest to Thekus before she gets mad. I'm going to go ahead and do up some dishes while that chicken's cooking. Or continuing to cook, shall I say. Now, once again, I was saying at the beginning of the show that that buttermilk brine that we did, it's best to let that sit overnight and really let the enzymes break down the outer layer of proteins and whatnot. Is this clean or dirty? Looks clean. Well, that's some high-level thinking you're doing there, DeBall. We'll give Tinka's a wing. We'll give her a little bit of the sauce for her to try. Yeah, and we were actually, me and my cousins were actually creating music the other night, and we were using Mixcraft, or not Mixcraft, we were using Fruity Loops. And I was talking to him, and I was telling him that, the program, and you struggling with the program and learning the program, it's just like learning an instrument. Like Fruity Loops is an instrument. It's an electronic instrument, but it's still an instrument.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't have any, I have a little bit. I used to program a little bit, but, I'm not really, like, a person of those fields. I'm not really an art person, so, that particular perspective is, I guess, different from me to see. All of my creative thinking skills came not from art. It actually came from, well, math, actually. Math and numbers and the liberal side of sciences. So, I think you're definitely onto something there, DeBall. I don't know if I necessarily 100% understand it because I'm not a person of those fields. But it definitely gives me something to think about.
Science!
And, I love new perspectives and thinking about things, so.
She blinded me with science. Bleep, bloop, bloop, bloop.
Does listening to music count?
Well, listening to music does fire off receptors in your brain. It makes your brain lights dance.
The syrup's good on here.
Yeah, right? You get that crunchy, crispy, salty chicken skin. And then you get this gooey, soft honey with the pimento in it. Yeah. Well, boys, I'm going to take a look. But I'm not going to open it. Because I want the heat to stay in there and do its thing. It hasn't gotten any darker. And it's been in there for, 8 minutes maybe? But those pieces of chicken are pretty huge. So, we're going to let it go longer. And I'm going to drink more Green Dragon energy drink from the Unique Beverage Company in Everett, Washington. This is a local product.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's nice.
Huh.
And by the way, speaking of music, sorry we don't actually have music. I don't know where the speaker went, and even if I did know where it was, it probably wouldn't work correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having some speaker problems. We need to get some speakers that are better. So you don't see me in the picture right now, and that's because I'm over here scrubbing out pots, which is not exactly the funnest thing to watch. But
Hey. Didn't I say I didn't want to be on the stream?
oh, I'm sorry. Hey guys, look, there's Thegus. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
No. You're adorable. No. I don't wanna. By the way, she looks beautiful. Just like she always does. But she's sleepy, so. Ignorance of science and proudly claim incompetence in mathematics. Huh. I am,
Yes, Tabal, I would love a world like that. A world like that I could succeed in.
I am legit terrible at math. Got like a 4th grade math level. Not even 3rd grade. I'm not even all that great at multiplication.
But you are a wizard with words, sir.
Yeah. See, that's where art failed me. I had too many art classes. I was proficient with art. I avoided mathematics like the plague because they literally make me feel ill when I have to do them. I don't know what that is. Some sort of mental block or something. But literally every time I try to do math or complicated math problems, it makes me feel dizzy and like sick to my stomach. They just kept asking me. Like, math wasn't a big thing. It really wasn't. You have to, have a specific amount of math to graduate, of course, but like I got all the way up to senior year and didn't really know math. But I was considered like a smart kid, mostly because of my English skills and reading comprehension and things like that. So I was considered a smart kid, so they just thought I was being lazy about math. When in reality, I just really wasn't good at it. I think I went to 2 algebra classes the entire year and skipped out on the rest of them. And then I'd run home, because I knew what time my mom would get home. I'd run home and I would delete the messages from the answering machine. I'm dating myself now. We literally had the answering machine with the tapes. And I'd delete the messages so that she wouldn't know I skipped school. And it went like that all the way up to almost the end of the year until they finally found out, and then I was in deep shit.
I loved calculus. Because I'm a giant nerd.
Calculus. Mm-hmm. I never did calculus. Never even began to do calculus.
True story, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I chalkboard painted my walls so that I could do math problems.
A 1. Yeah, I never actually finished high school. Got all the way up to senior year, all the way up to about graduation time, before they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna graduate because you never did math at all." And my guidance counselor, being such the great guidance counselor that he was, literally told me, "You might as well just give up and walk out that door right now." And being a 18-year-old blockhead, I did just that. I slammed all my books down on his table and I flipped them off and I never went back. And now years later, I wish I had that diploma. Even though it hasn't really bothered me in my professional career. Now that I'm getting to the age where I kind of can't cook as much anymore, I really could use that thing to go into a different field. I still don't realize that. And I fail to acknowledge it, sir. Calculus is useless.
It's not useless. It's important for all those things that I wish our society would do if we could just get past stupid crap.
We don't need any of that. Give me more American Idol. Math. Ha!
I have a dream that one day decathlons will be like our reality TV and crap. But like, mental
Guys,
mental sports.
this thing that happened while on this stream that none of us noticed. We officially passed 700 views. We got 4 folks hanging tough in here. Good to see. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, it's not a very exciting one. We just did the chicken tonight. And we fried it, and then unfortunately it got a little too dark. So now we're finishing it in the oven. I guess I'll take it out and check it. All right, thermo. My guess is it's about 120 to 130 degrees, which is not enough. $117 on the big one. 122 on the other breast. $149, $150, $151, $52. It's rising. The temperature that we're looking for on these guys. This one's 128. The temperature we're looking for is 155 degrees. That's when our poultry is actually done. I know that the health code says that it's 165 degrees, but that is the temperature of dried turkey, and we're not super onto that. I'm gonna raise it now to 110 degrees because I'm living life crazy. I'm living on the edge. Pop it back in there. But I would say, honestly, in another 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most, we'll be eating that chicken. See, chicken dinners aren't easy to get in real life either.
Seriously. Like, I've always been good at math, but like that trig here just wouldn't snap.
Trig. I sort of understood that more. The one thing that I got right away was geometry. For some reason, I got geometry right away. But algebra, multiplication even, never got it down. Algebra doesn't make sense to me. It's like, this is an insufficient amount of information. This is just it's not math. It's like detective work.
So like
It's like, well, solve for T. Well, now we have to find out who T was as a person.
Well, now you're just thinking like an artist.
Who was T? What was T into? He wasn't just no regular number. No, sir. T was a 14.
T has a story. Oh.
Trig derivatives. So what is it that you're doing exactly? I mean, you don't have to give it away if you don't want to. But what is it that you're going for exactly in your schooling? What degree are you after?
Or perhaps Duval already has a degree.
I'm sure he probably already has 40 of them. But what's
Duval
this
is a
one?
wizard.
What's this one?
Chemistry major.
Ah.
I actually originally started out as a bioengineer major.
And then she went to video game programming. And she's been everywhere.
Yes.
Mr. T.
And then I decided that I would just get a degree that would piss everybody off.
A pity the fool. Pity the fool who don't know I'm really a 14. God damn you, T.
Because
damn you, algebra.
it is amazing when you have a political science degree and you go places and somebody asks you what your degree is and you're like, oh, I have a political science degree. And they're like,
yeah, nobody wants to talk to a
Nobody
political
wants to
science
talk to
major. Ugh. Talk about a one-sided conversation. And then if you have an opposing view, God help you. Well, I don't really think that Clinton was all that bad. Well, let me tell you something. She literally follows me around the house yelling at my back as I try to escape. I'm just like, nope, don't want to have this conversation. Nope, nope, nope. She's just following behind me like, and the systematic. Doop doop doop. Python and JavaScript on the side. See that you know, you're a guy with a lot of different skill sets. You made Nightbot your bitch in like what? 2 weeks? You invented a bot. You invented the fine art bot. It doesn't listen to you much because it's become sentient and has a mind of its own now, but you invented that.
I should have gone with engineering degree or something.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have, man.
She went
the wrong way.
She went political science, and then what is it?
Well, no, so
public administration,
which is
and
practical.
disaster relief management.
Which is, to be fair, is practical. Shit's gonna happen over the next century or so.
Shit's gonna hit the fan, man. Y'all better read the writing on the walls. FEMA. Hell, I don't think so.
It's the end times.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like what is there to do? Really, what is there to do if you have a political science or anthropology major that isn't teach political science or anthropology?
Well, research actually. Political
yes.
scientists are employed in research fields because we are fantastic at research.
Oh, yes, research.
Which I am.
I do a lot of research.
I do a lot of research.
Like, what kind of monitor should I buy? I'm very much into research. I researched these cameras quite a bit.
At the on the other side of it,
I think
though,
they're doing pretty well because you can get real close. And then you can see my eyelashes and shit. I love these side pictures I got going on. That is plate and deep fryer. It's art.
Do something with the plate.
Okay. I'm going to show you some garnishing techniques. It's, with this, we'll just take it and we'll, we'll swizzle it around. Oh, yes. Masterpiece.
Oh!
A bloob. Yes, we'll put a bloob on it.
Put 2 or 3.
Here we are. 1 bloob. We have to set them in order of size. Oh yes, the bloobs.
That's a $50 plate, you guys.
$50 plate right there. Op9 exclusive. Here. Gonna dash a little bit of red on there. Oh yes. Oh yeah. People actually buy that shit. People actually will buy that. Oh, lovely. You know what I would do? I would literally like make some whipped cream and like smear it along the bottom and then put those there. People will buy that shit. It's all about how you say it. They probably would have dark.
Speaking of which, you probably should update that because I don't think you're doing games anymore, are you?
What are you talking about?
Are you still doing game nights?
No, I'm not. I don't do game night anymore. It would have been tonight. All right, chicken time. Come on, chicken. Dark, how many times have you seen people stream and they're just continually obsessing over chicken dinner? This has got to be like the 7 millionth stream you've seen of somebody trying to get a chicken dinner. Except for this one's actually chicken.
The ball says it's beautiful, by the way.
You like that? The ball, you're the best. So, according to my thermometer, it says that our chicken is 157 degrees, which is within the acceptable parameters for eating. Let me check them all, though. Juice kit just came out of one of them. It's running clean. But this fat guy, he's only 133. So he's going to have to stay in longer. But I'm going to take out the other pieces that are done. 141. No way, Jose. Nope. They're lying. This lying chicken. Also, when you're temping your chicken, you want to make sure that you don't hit the bone, because the bone is actually much hotter. It sucks in way more heat than the meat itself. So you want to make sure that you're not putting your probe in up against the bone, because you're going to get an inaccurate reading that way. So, the only one that is finished is this thigh. The one that had gotten initially a little too dark anyway. What's Raising Cane's?
Yes, I was just thinking that. Like, what? What?
I don't know what a
What is
Raising
this
Cane
Raising
is.
Cane's?
back into the oven with you. We'll remove our bloobs.
And I haven't focused on that piece of chicken for you now.
Put the burnt chicken in there. Eat the bloobs. Then we'll drizzle. Yes. Drizzle the delicious sauce over the mildly burnt chicken. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You'll eat it. You'll think it's alright. And then you'll pay $150 for it. So, as we dissect this piece of chicken, we see that the crispy crunchy crust is perfect. The chicken is still moist and juicy on the inside. The flavor the flavor is just about perfect. Then you can see from the cut that she's not undercooked. Which is good because, as I mentioned before, I'd rather die than have salmonella ever again. Well, what do we got here? No, she's okay.
Oh, it's just a...
Eventually, sometimes you get fooled. Sometimes you can get fooled with this because,
A restaurant dedicated to fried chicken?
nice.
Oh.
Sometimes you can get fooled with that, as I was saying, because the chicken, like some of the dark meat, if you're cooking it to 155, it's not getting cooked to like completely white and dead. So you can get fooled sometimes. Like you'll bite into a piece of chicken and you'll be like, oh my god, it's raw. But no. It's perfectly cooked. It's just not cooked to the point where it's, you know, rubber. Making the sauce. Super close and super easy. Oh, so this sauce is a lot like ours.
Let's see. Learn the sauce. It's basically fry sauce with Worcestershire garlic and salt.
Oh, fry sauce, no.
It's fry sauce with, it's fry sauce with Worcestershire garlic powder, salt, and black pepper. I like fry sauce.
Do you?
Yes, but with fries. With potato wheat product.
Yeah. I took down that piece of chicken like a pack of lions taking down a poor helpless gazelle. I've ripped it to pieces. Exposed the bone. You know what, DeBall? Just for you, we'll try it.
We could have a sauces episode.
We should have a sauces episode.
Dude, there we go. Suggestions?
There's a million sauces. All of which I am fairly well versed in. Every sauce on the planet. No. I do know a lot of sauces, but there are so many sauces out there that I have no idea about.
That would be awesome. Or even just like how to make your, because one thing that Op taught me, which was pretty cool, was that you can actually make quite a bit of sauces at home that I didn't know about. Like I didn't know you could make homemade barbecue sauce and that it was super simple.
Oh yeah.
I'm an American, so I think that barbecue sauce requires a factory and heavy machinery and big vats, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh look, it's a visitor from a past episode. What's going on there, Fudge? Gonna eat you.
Can I have a fork?
Mm-hmm. You hungry now?
Yeah.
Well, the rest of the chicken's about to be done. It's at 310 degrees right now. So we're only 2 degrees off from the Maillard reaction, or where it starts anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, sauces can go from like super simple to extremely complex. Like hollandaise, for example. It's all about timing. It's literally only 3 ingredients, but it's all about timing.
Oh, is that like the don't break your hollandaise thing?
Mm-hmm. They used to make us do that by hand in culinary school.
What about meringues? Can't you break those? Or not meringues, but gosh, I'm trying to think of it, but I can't think of it. I've watched too many Master Chefs and
So meringues are literally just
Iron Chefs.
egg whites. They're whipped egg whites. So you can't really break them. There's custards.
How do you make homemade mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise is a lot like hollandaise. Except for it requires egg whites, I believe, instead of egg yolk. So you whip oil into egg whites. Campfire sauce. What is that?
Jabal, would you believe that we do not eat at Red Robin?
I'm sure you would. We don't really eat out like ever. Occasionally we'll go to our favorite pizza joint or Chinese food place. But yeah, for the most part, if I can cook it simply and easily, which is like, I'd say 70 to 80% of the food in the world, I can cook it pretty quick and within a reasonable proximity of what it should actually taste like. But things like Chinese food that take a lot of prep or a ton of ingredients, yeah, we go out for that. But hamburgers, I will mess up Red Robin at hamburgers. Bring me the Red Robin chef. Bring him to me. And I will teach him how to make a proper hamburger.
It's a mayo and barbecue based sauce.
Oh, yeah. I get that.
That could work.
Campfire sauce, huh?
I mean, if anything, Jabal, we could always, we have a Red Robin actually nearby to us. I can maybe sneak on in and see if they'll sell me a cup of this campfire sauce.
This campfire.
Or we could probably stop in and just have like some fries or something.
Yes.
And try the different sauces.
Chili powder. I see where that could be good. Because then you'd have the fat, but you don't get in the barbecue sauce that kind of like thickens it out, yeah. Makes it more lush in the mouth.
Okay. So, another super awesome thing about fried chicken that's homemade, I think, to me, is that sometimes when you bite into the chicken and the breading, you can taste a little bit of the flour mixture. Just ever so slightly.
Huh.
It kind of gets that homemade taste. It's like you taste it like, I know this was made with homemade ingredients.
Huh.
I don't ever get that feeling from other chickens. Or non-homemade chickens, I should say.
Other chickens.
No, it's like pretty much universal in like everybody's chicken. There's always like one little patch piece that tastes slightly ever so like the flour combination.
I'm cranking it up to 350. We're going crazy on this one. I'm going to watch it carefully. I don't want it to brown too much, but all of the pieces, they're not overly brown. We already ate those ones. So the pretty ones are still in there. We just got to make sure to keep them pretty, and we got to make sure to get that center cooked properly. Because we're really close, but at this low temperature, it takes a while.
No, sausage sounds like a great idea though. That's fun.
Well, yeah, I was thinking that maybe we can go around and round up some of the sauces that people like Arby's sauce.
Oh yeah.
You know, like these.
There's Arby's sauce. I'm sure does Red Robin have any other sauces that are pretty good other than Campfire?
Burgerville sauce.
People go to
the Burgerville spread.
Buffalo Wild Wings does a lot of sauces for their wings and stuff that people like.
Mm-hmm. Sauces demystified. I do have I have a sort of talent for picking out flavors and sauces and being able to remake them.
You have a talent for recreating just about anything when it comes to food. He has a fantastic palate.
Why, thank you. Seems like such a pretentious thing. My palate is second to none.
But you do have a great palate, though. Because we have gone to multiple different places, and you have been able to eat something, figure out what it is, and then recreate it at the house.
Yeah.
And be pretty spot on.
Campfire is the sauce for Red Robin. All right.
Okay, cool. Campfire sauce.
So campfire sauce is in.
So
Arby's sauce is in. Horsey sauce is dumb. That's literally just horseradish. Like a little bit of sour cream or whatever.
What about Taco Bell sauce? Taco sauce.
Taco Bell sauce? That might be a tough one. We actually have some right now. We have some Taco Bell sauce.
Do we?
Cane sauce. Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, we have this.
We never had it. We don't have that around here, so
Here.
it's pretty impossible to tell. Okay. I'm going to try and pick out what the ingredients are without looking at it for the Taco Bell mild sauce. It only gets hotter from here, it says on the bottle. Alright, smell-wise. Oddly enough, the first thing I smell is pickles, like dill pickles.
But that could oddly be because it might have been next to pickles.
No. The bottle was closed. Gosh, it doesn't really have a lot of flavor to it. It really doesn't. Maybe it's just because of the age of the bottle, or you're going to need a bigger sample size. So, that dill pickle flavor definitely comes through. So, the only way that you get that is through distilled white vinegar. So, it's got distilled white vinegar in it, I'd say. Cayenne pepper is definitely in the back of the palate. I taste a little bit of black pepper and I want to say just straight up ancho chili powder. Salsas, yeah, definitely. And that's about it, really. There's not a whole lot to it. It gets the smokiness from the ancho chili powder. Yeah. Obviously, there's some garlic in there. Like, I want to say garlic and onion powder.
Yeah.
Let me see. What do we got? Oh, yeah. And tomatoes, of course. We got water, tomato puree, vinegar, salt, chili pepper, spices, xanthan gum, which is literally just to thicken it up, potassium, maltodextrin, yeast extract, datum. What's datum? D-A-T-E-M. What is that?
D-A-T-E-M?
D-A-T-E-M.
Diactyl tartaric acid ester of mono and...
Oh, it's cream of tartar.
Wow.
That is the scientific name for cream of tartar.
Dough conditioner?
A dough conditioner. That's interesting. And it also had yeast extract in it too, so it's like... That's some strange bread shit in there, right? Yeah, cream of tartar is an emulsifier.
Interesting.
A strong one too. It's actually difficult to get cream of tartar into recipes because it's got a flavor to it. But with all the chili powder and shit in there, there's no way you could pick out cream of tartar. Which is funny because it's the only cream of thing that I know of that's actually not like liquid based. All right, chicken's got to be done now. This reminds me of like when we used to get fried chicken at home. We got it in the box. It was like the banquet chicken or whatever. And you'd open up the oven and you would smell that fried, mixture of like fucking fried food and baked shit. Oh yeah, we're good. All of our pieces of chicken are done. Unfortunately, from being in the oven so long, the crispiness has suffered just a little. Not a ton, but just a little. Alright guys, now it's time to make some porn. Food porn. Food porn. Alright. So, the chicken, you saw where it started out, and it was kind of dicey there for a minute, right? Now, obviously if I put down a waffle or something, that would be like superior to this build. But I'm just going to put these here, kind of to just add a little bit of color to our plate. And then I'm going to start stacking. Obviously we don't have the wings because we ate those in frustration. We frustration ate the wings.
So hungry.
So we're gonna start with the big pieces on the bottom. That's our first breast. Here's our second one. This is the big daddy right here.
Oh,
What's up?
the cutting board cam is being a pain. Hold on.
Damn you, cutting board cam. We always have trouble with that cam.
There we go. You're
Good?
Yep.
All right. Next, the uneaten thigh. We ate the other one. Then we're going to kind of stack the drums wherever we can fit them. So one right here. And This is the ugly one, so we'll put it under here.
Are you gonna put syrup over all that?
Hell yeah.
Please don't.
No?
I want hot sauce.
Okay, fuck my plating then. Done. Stream over. So yeah, there's a plate of chicken. Without the sauce.
Well, can you drizzle it on the front half of the chicken
I'm
and make
drizzle
it
it on your... Never mind.
What?
Okay. You want the thigh?
Yeah.
Okay. You want the drums?
Sure.
That's yours. Anyway, that's what the honey looks like drizzled on half of the chicken. So now we've come to that time when we eat the food. We're going to have to move the camera because Thekus doesn't want to be on the camera. But yes. Our fried chicken journey is over. Now on to the eating. I'm going to grab a couple little plates for each of us. Thekus has got her hot sauce. Give me that hot sauce.
I do like my hot sauce.
I know you do. And by all means, you can have it. You can have it all. Turning off the oven. Knives and forks all around. Beat it, Kiba. Diggity dog. I tell you, it was a long day. We had some hiccups in our chicken cooking, but we didn't let that hold us back. We did all that on the stream, you know. Oh, Hope and the Beast and Lawless Glory just came in the time that we were moving. Yeah, let me show you the look of the fried chicken on the not so good cam. So yeah, the color, it got dark way quicker than we wanted it to. And we were doing the two-stage cooking method, which usually works, but we put a little bit too much paprika in the mix, and it started to get dark real quick. So instead of continuing to do the two-stage method, which is cook it, rest it for 5 minutes, and then cook it for 10, we had to go to the oven. And using our culinary knowledge, we know that proteins do not actually begin to brown until 312 degrees Fahrenheit. So we cooked our chicken at 300 degrees Fahrenheit so that the middle would get done and the outside wouldn't get any more brown. So now we're going to eat it. Thekus has decided to abstain from camera this evening. So you're just going to have to look at my ugly mug. Thekus has opted to eat hers with hot sauce. I made a honey pimenton drizzle, which is paprika, honey, and a tiny bit of apple cider vinegar. And we drizzled that over the top. So, chicken, perfectly cooked. Juicy. And still crispy and crunchy on the outside. So the chicken breast has picked up all of the flavors from our buttermilk. And the outside coating has picked up our secret ingredient, which was a tiny bit of yellow curry powder that we put into the flour. And the honey really helps to accentuate that. What? Stop. This thing. It's doing this thing. I don't need a view source. You rat bastard. Never mind. Apparently the keyboard only wants to use hotkeys right now to things that I have no idea what the hell they even are.
It's because your plate was leaning on it.
Oh. Well, alright. Deacus, come to the rescue. Two hours and 40 minutes. That's not too bad. And we ended with 732 views tonight. Altogether for my entire streaming career, not in one night. That would be awesome. Yeah, it's been before you guys came in, it's been a super quiet night all night long.
Dude, there's no way we can cook for 24 hours, bro.
That'd be the most boring stream ever. "24-hour cooking stream." We'd have the marinade cam or something.
I mean...
This would be a bowl sitting in the refrigerator.
Yes.
That's one way we could do it, yeah. This chicken is ridiculously juicy.
Actually, Hopan, you give me the idea that for the off-stream time, we should have that Ops crockpot. Ops crockpot can. Maybe not crackpot, but crockpot.
So, just 2 hours and 40 something minutes ago, this was a whole chicken. We broke it down, we put it in the fryer, we fucked it up, we fixed it, and now we're eating it. I'd say that was pretty successful. My crack pot. Crack. Cook crack in my crack pot. You cook crack? Yeah, you cook crack.
I don't know, it's been a while since Dare taught me.
Ridiculously juicy.
It's super tasty. Delicious. I'm enjoying it with Frank's Red Hot.
put that shit on everything. And I'm enjoying it with my handcrafted sauce that she didn't want any part of.
I had 2 pieces earlier with it.
All right, guys, we're getting down to that time of night when we have to choose where we should go. Now, IPC, we host him a lot. He knows we love him. We did MCB last time.
No, we didn't. We did Muddis, I believe.
Did we do Muddy last time?
Actually, we did Lawless last time.
We did do Lawless last time. Well, we've done all those.
We've done everybody.
I haven't done Quislings yet. Grub Truckers doesn't need us. We haven't done Fly Reaper yet.
Let's do Fly Reaper.
Fly Reaper is another PUBG player. And he's in the Muddy crew. So, yeah. Why don't we do just Fly Reaper? What do you guys think? We can do just Fly Reaper, or we can do IPC, or Muddy. Oh yeah, Young Warrior did MCB last night.
Oh, okay.
By the way,
I was asleep.
that stream was lit. It was awesome. Everybody was in there. It was awesome.
Obviously not.
Not everybody. The boss says he's going to send you a link to a BitBalloon site. You can use to edit the suggestions list so you don't have to always do it in the chat.
Hopan wants to go to IPC.
Hopan says IPC, and that's always a safe one. We do need IPC more than he needs us. The world needs more IPC. Alright, guys. I can't say no to IPC. Kiba wants fried chicken. That's not good for dogs. It's not even good for people. I'll give you a little bit of crispy chicken skin. He loved it. He's a dog, of course he did. Alright, ladies and gents. DeBall, thanks for hanging out as always. Die hard. We had a couple people come in. We got a new follower tonight. Make bad choices. Indiana Jones. Dr. Indiana Jones hosted us tonight. It was a slow night, but a fun night. And we will see you tomorrow night, Friday. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but it'll be something cool. And, yeah. Good night. What happened? Slash host. It's always the damn slash.
It's an actual Twitch command.
That should make things a little bit simpler to modify this position. Okay.
Night, guys.
All right. Here we go. Boom. Unfortunately, we can't hear him. Well, I mean, on yours, I guess you can.
You stop the OBS?